Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yes. Sorry we're a little late today. Um, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. I'm back on the sleep stuff. So not the sleep stuff, but the bad sleep, the late sleep, and then that just creates a whole snowball effect, which then affects everything that I have to do that day. So I have to figure out why my sleep patterns are off again, and or just get up when I'm supposed to get up. We'll figure it out. Life is life. Life is but a dream, isn't it? Anyway, so uh and so uh I don't know. I'm sort of prepared, not prepared, kind of prepared, might be prepared. I don't know, whatever. I'm here to talk, right? So let's just get to it. So I woke up this morning. I literally had three choices. And so one was this Talarico dude in Texas who's now the Democrat nominee for Senate. And so there's a lot coming out about him. So there was that choice. And I was like, I want to talk about that, but not here. And then there was there was Tim Walz getting beat down in Congress yesterday. Um, and we might get to that depending on the timing today or and things of that nature. And then there's this what I ended up settling on, which was the this whole black pill thing, which when I become intrigued by something, I can't sort of shake myself to go talk about other stuff on the side when I'm focused here. And I was like, maybe I should save this for the rant experience tomorrow. And then I was like, nah, I can't wait till tomorrow, even though I probably would have been able to do a bit more research on the black pill movement and black pill left and the black pill right and all of this, wackadoodle, wackadoodle, wackadoodle. And so, but in what I've been able to discover in the last few days is it's ultimately in my purview, in my opinion, it is politically useless, you know. Prime examples of black pilled quote unquote conservatives, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, um, allegedly, apparently now Megyn Kelly. Um, Even though but I'm not sure with her if it's this single issue or if it's a complete like. But I don't think she's full black pill, so I can't put her in that category. And then there's and then people Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, I don't consider Nick Fuentes a conservative. I consider him a right winger, because he's radical, and conservatives aren't radical, right? We're not radical, and so when people are espousing the things that he does, I don't. That's not a conservative. Nothing that comes out of his mouth says conservative. A lot of what comes out of his mouth. Now, there is some overlap between conservatives and right wingers, but again, there's overlap between all of us. We have overlaps with liberals. We may not want to acknowledge it, but we do. Right. We just have different ways of getting there, right? We have some overlaps. And so anyway, so having some things in common does not mean you are all on the same team, end quote. Right. But since people like to lump Nick Fuentes in there, him too, you know. And so it's those kind of folks, where it's doomsday. Oh, Trump makes a decision. Oh, but what I find so funny is on this current, with the Operation Epic Fury in Iran. What I find hilarious is that so many of these big name people will not actually say Trump's name. They will talk around his name. They will talk about Marco Rubio. They will talk about Hegseth. They'll talk about everybody else, but they won't talk about Trump directly. And so that got me to thinking. And then I saw a video from Dan Bongino, and he literally said the same daggone thing. And I was like, okay, so if Dan Bongino's saying it, I'm on to something here. So anyway, And we know I rocks with Bongino heavy. And then there's, and then Bongino, we'll play a few clips of him later on in the situation. But the thing with Bongino is he is making it very clear that the surface level, or the bit of information that we here in the civilian world have, is nothing compared to what he saw and knows that they see on the inside, right? And it's kind of like the same thing going on with Iran here, where people want to know everything. They want Trump to come up to the microphone and say, "This is everything we're doing," and tell Iran every step we're about to take and why we're taking it. And it's ridiculous. But the and so in going down this rabbit hole on the black pill, and why people would rather quit or bitch and complain and moan than fight, is very interesting to me. So but I'll tell you this right quick. Something that's really been driving me absolutely bonkers lately, and that there's that whole concept of black pill, that's floating around. People are using to sound they use this term to sound very deep and intellectual and politically enlightened, and suddenly everybody's black pilled. They've blackpilled on elections. Candace Owens has made that very. I don't even understand how you still follow her. She literally has told you she's never voting again. She's out of the political process. So that means the literal purpose of her being here is no longer. She's something else now. So I have no interest in anything she has to say from this point forward, because clearly it was all about the grift, you know. And with Candace Owens, we all got. We all were lied to, and it was clear as day at this point. But again, you know what you know when you know it. We are now black pilled on culture. We're black pilled on America. We're black pilled on foreign policy. And now apparently, um, that black pill is now spilled over into the current Operation Fury in Iran. So hold up. Because once you strip away the internet language and the slang and the memes, the black pill is really just one thing. Hmm? It's a form of political apathy. Hmm. It's the belief that the system is so broken, so corrupt, so hopeless that nothing matters. Nothing can change it. Nothing is worth fighting for. So let's just, okay. Originally, the term came out of internet subcultures tied to the red pill idea from the Matrix, where people claim to be waking up to hidden truths about our society, but the black pill took it a step further. It's the belief that the system is permanently rigged, and there's nothing we can do about it. In other words, the red pill says the system is broken, but we can fight it. But the black pill says the system is broken, so just lie down and rot. And what's fascinating to me is this: the left and the right use the black pill. The thing is, they use it in different ways, right? And right now in 2026 America, some people on the right are using it as an excuse to avoid confronting one of the biggest geopolitical threats in the world, Iran. So now let's talk about it. So here's the left's version of the black pill. Uh, when the left gets black pilled, uh, it usually sounds something like this. They'll say, America's irredeemable. The system is permanently racist. Capitalism is permanently oppressive. Democracy is fake. The Constitution is outdated. The country is beyond saving. You hear this rhetoric all the time. America was built on oppression. The system is rigged. There's no fixing it. And what happens when people adopt that mindset? They stop believing in reform. They stop believing in institutions. They stop believing in the country itself. We see it every day in our respective corners on social media. all the time. You see this type of behavior all the time. And that's why you see some people on the far left talking about things like dismantling capitalism. We hear that all the time, don't we? Abolishing the police. We hear that all the time. We even hear arguments that go as far as replacing the Constitution. Yeah, yeah, because you remember, apparently, it wasn't for black people. Remember? You hear that all the time, right? Even though race isn't mentioned in the Constitution, but okay, apparently it's just for black people. Black people need to be included in the Constitution. You are, you idiot. Because once you're black pilled about the country itself, you stop trying to improve it. Oh, you think you living in them ghettos by accident? You literally start trying to tear it down, but that's the left's version of black pill politics, the cynicism about the whole system, right? And then, just lay there and play dead and, who cares, fight the power or whatever, whatever. Now, the right's version of the black pill, this is where it gets a little interesting because the right has its own version of black pill thinking, and it looks completely different. Instead of saying the system is oppressive, the right's black pill mindset says the system is too corrupt to fix. Okay. Nick Fuentes. You hear it all the time. Elections don't matter. Washington is owned. Institutions are captured. The media controls everything. Now, listen up. Some of those criticisms are actually legitimate, right? And even some of the left criticisms are legitimate, but it's not about the criticism, it's about the reaction for me, right? So our institutions, absolutely, they're imperfect. They're never going to be perfect. Why? Because they're ran by human beings, right? That's it. It's never going to be perfect. Right? But there's a clear difference between criticism and defeatism, right? And what the black pill does is it turns criticism into surrender. So instead of saying we need to fix the system, you have black pillars like Candace Owens saying, "Why bother? No, why vote? Why fight? Why participate? Why defend American interests? Why defend Western civilization? Why confront adversaries? Because apparently everything is rigged, so it doesn't matter, right? So who cares? Everything's rigged. Whatever." That's the psychological trap of the black pill. It convinces you that apathy is wisdom, and it ain't. Now, and really, what the black pill represents is political laziness. And let me tell you what the and this is what it really is. It's intellectual laziness disguised as political enlightenment. It's easier to say the system is hopeless than it is to actually do the work of understanding politics. Because real politics is nuanced, it's complicated, there are just so many dimensions to it. And so to just put it on the surface of I saw a video, blah blah blah, and that's all we're working with is a video. Okay, cool. Then if it was that easy, then why aren't we in the government? Ooh, okay. Real politics require strategy. Politics is very strategic. It's very cutthroat. It ain't for the faint of heart. We see it time and time again. We see it every election cycle. It's a very dangerous. It could be a very dangerous profession. We see that all the time, right? Real politics requires patience. So when you have Nick Fuentes having a tantrum after President Trump has only been in office for the second time for a year and a couple of months, yeah, that's not gonna work. You can't get everything done in a year. Not also you can't just make radical wild decisions because there's a system of checks and balances that will step into play. But again, when you're a right winger, you're just like the left wing. You just want radicalism. You want your leader to just go in there and obliterate the system with and disregard the rules or the checks and balances, right? Real politics requires fighting battles you might lose before you win. Oh, 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 oh. Again, that's just life in general. That's not even extreme wisdom. Life happens. Most of the things in life we take L's on before we get to a victory, or we have small victories that don't feel like triumphs, but they're actually first down to first down, first down to first down to get to the touchdown, right? So that's the whole point, right? But black pill thinking skips all of that. Yeah, they don't care about none of that. It just shows up, that's it. Everything's doomed. Throw your hands up, forget it, just let it go, you know. And I just want to say congratulations. You didn't become wise. You became politically useless. Hmm. When you do that, you're out of the conversation. Marjorie Taylor Greene. The moment you give up, I'm done. If you could quit this small, what you gonna do when you at a higher office? You can quit on your small little district in Georgia. That tells me everything I need to know. Yeah, uh-huh. You will never get my vote. Well, I mean, aside from the woman thing, but other than that, you still would never get my vote. If you were a man doing the same thing, you would never get my vote. Hmm. I mean, by every metric, President Trump had every right to quit and say, you know what, okay, when you get to the point of almost blowing my head off on national television, I think I'm a bow out of this. He had every right to say it at that point, and I wouldn't have been mad at him, right? But yeah, y'all quitting over. Oh, the president wouldn't back me to be a senator, even though I had no path to victory, and that's why he's not endorsing you. He's saying literally giving you the proper political advice, saying you have no path to victory. It's one thing to be elected by your little district in a state. It's another to get the entire state to rally behind you. Totally different. Totally different, right? But where this shows up on the right now is very telling because um we can talk let's talk about something right now that's going on in conservative politics because I'm seeing people who used to talk tough about national security, suddenly start sounding very black pilled when it comes to Iran, right? All of a sudden, the talking points sound like, why should we care? It's not our problem. America shouldn't get involved. We can't stop it anyway. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. Um, if Iran actually gets nuclear weapons, this absolutely affects us. Um, what was the report that I read yesterday? Bring that over there. Hold on. It was the let me see if I can find it right quick. Oh yes, it was the IAE report. So, excuse me. Uh so this is the hold on. So, for those who don't know, the IAEA is the International Atomic Energy Agency, and it's a global organization responsible for monitoring nuclear programs and preventing nuclear weapon proliferation, which also promotes the peaceful use of nuclear energy. So basically, they're a nuclear referee, if you will. So anyway, in their report, hold on, I'm trying to find the actual note. Um, do, 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 do. And so yeah, so on Iran, they found um okay, yeah, there we go. Iran's uranium enrichment status. So the report confirms Iran continues to produce enriched uranium at levels far above the limit set in the 2015 nuclear deal. So if you see that they're doing this, enrichment was supposed to be capped at 3.67%. But the report shows Iran enriching uranium at much higher levels, including up to 60%. So higher enrichment means uranium is closer to weapons grade. Less additional work would be needed to reach bomb grade levels, correct? The report tracks quantities of enriched uranium stockpiles and production rates. So when you get this report, you're just supposed to sit back idle and just wait for them to see what happens. Trust me, bro. And I don't hear nothing. This is not run by Israel. This is a neutral organization. Because everything's Israel. Israel runs everything. Israel tells everybody what to do. Israel, Israel, Israel. And I'm no pro-Israel person, so you talking to the wrong person. I'm not. You will not see me have this blind loyalty or interest in Israel. But when we get to that point where that's where we're barking, I pretty much tap out. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, we're good. But anyway, uh, where was I? Um, Everything's doomed. We're all doomed. We're all going to hell right now. Anyway, uh, and so I'm saying all this to say, um, the black pill logic is dangerous. Um, and so now let's talk about more of what's going on in conservative politics because this whole concept of national security, this whole concept of being ambivalent or apathetic, or it's not our problem, or you know, it, it, as I said, Iran not having or Iran getting a nuke somehow doesn't affect us. I'm sorry. Um, Iran has chanted for decades, correct? Death to America. Now you can sit up here and justify. I've seen people on the right, like what is his name, Andre Williams. I've seen him say, "Well, it's because of this. I don't give a damn why they're saying it. The point is they're saying it, right? So even if I agitated you to the point where you want me to die, I still have a right to. If I can preemptively prevent you from trying to kill me, I can. I still. I'm still going to try to prevent you from doing it, right? So and then you have literally two US presidents handing over sacks of cash to these people. And then, and we've been complicit in funding terrorist groups. We have, they, meaning Iran, have destabilized entire regions. They threaten global trade routes. They threaten our allies. And so, yeah, I know. Israel shouldn't be our ally. We should literally just be floating in the world in this isolated bubble with no allies. And that, we'll just wait for the next Pearl Harbor. And they continue. They openly, we've seen that they're openly pursuing or pursued, because at this point it's past tense, nuclear capabilities. And that's not a conspiracy, that's the reality of the situation. And yet people are using this black pill mentality to justify doing nothing. Yeah. The This is dangerous logic. It's absolutely dangerous logic. And the black pill creates a very counterproductive uh, chain of reasoning. So you got America can't fix everything. Of course we can't. That's not the point, right? There has to be a vested interest when you enter a deal. Every party has a vested interest, right? It's not just, oh, one person gets everything and the other person gets nothing, right? So there is obviously an a vested interest from America. Then you have foreign policy is messy. Yeah, it can be messy. It can be messy. We're talking about human beings running systems. It's always going to be a degree of messiness. Um, but to say that that's a reason why we shouldn't participate, it's a bit ridiculous, right? The system is corrupt. There's always going to be corruption as long as there are human beings on this planet. Human beings have the natural way of destroying everything. One thing starts with great intentions, and then you get nefarious actors in there, and things start to happen. But you can't combat corruption sitting on the sidelines. And so when you sit here and tell me that we shouldn't even try, or we should just insulate the United States, that no, we no, this is not the early stages of the United States when we were just an isolated country just doing our thing. No, we're now a global entity, whether you want to believe it or not. But it's how we participate in it that has been problematic, right? That's not, the way they want to go about this is not realism. You know, that's literal surrender, right? But here is the truth of the deal. Every great power in history has had a choice. You either lead or you retreat. And whenever a great power decides everything's hopeless, history does not reward those people. Um, and I'm reading that a lot about former presidents in my video that I'm producing on the Republican presidents. That the ones that really did not take the bull by the horns are the ones who got pushed to the side. Yeah, but what are you doing? Like you can't sit up here and be passive about these issues. You have to lead, mofo. Anyway, and then so history replaces those types of people. So let me remind everybody of something. America was not built by people who believed everything was doom and gloom. Oh, yeah, yeah. The American Revolution wasn't black pilled. The civil rights movement, even that mess wasn't black pilled. The fight against fascism in World War II, that wasn't black pilled. And then we could have our conversations about that. Obviously, that's another nuanced conversation that we could have later. But imagine, if in 1941, we said, oh, Europe is a mess, nothing we can do about it. I'm pretty sure history would look very different at this point, right? Progress requires people who believe things can, in fact, be changed. Black pill thinkers reject that entirely. So, why are we seeing this sort of influx of black pill thinkers? First of all, because they can't grift off Trump's name like they used to. That's the first thing. Um, and another reason is for this mindset is actually pretty simple. The internet rewards pessimism. So if you come and just be a Debbie Downer all day, the internet rewards negativity more than it does any sort of optimism or positivity, right? I post something yelling and screaming, there's a stronger chance that that will be successful on the internet than me giving you information, or just saying what a great day it is. you know, Doom posts tend to go viral, right? Cynicism sounds intelligent, right? Nuance, not so much. When it comes to nuance, people don't have the patience. There's thousands of options, so we're just gonna go to the person that's gonna give us our fix. You know, we're not gonna give you the nooks and the crannies and the details. We're just gonna give you the punchline, and then sell the punchline as the entire topic. Okay, cool. Got it. Hope sounds naive, "Ooh, yeah, all this hope, it doesn't sound natural, So people convince themselves they're being realistic, like being the most nasty version of yourself is real, right? But in reality, you're just repeating defeatism. That's what you're doing. So here's my message to the folks on the right: don't swallow the black pill. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let internet cynicism convince you that fighting for your country is pointless. And if here's the other thing about fighting for your country: if you believe we're fighting a war for Israel, get out our military. First of all, set up a payment plan to repay us for training you, feeding you, clothing you, wiping your ass. Make sure you get a payment plan back to America, pay us back all that money, and then get the hell out. Go find a job in America or leave. Get out. But I don't understand people who join the military thinking it's going to be a Jet 2 holiday. You signed up for the military. I understand there are benefits for yourself. Obviously, like I said, symbiotic relationship. But to sit up here and act like if you get deployed that, oh, well, it's in your contract, you dummy. So yeah, if you go into an operation or a combat zone, yeah, there is a possibility you could get hurt or killed. That is the reality of the situation. Now I know some folks sign up for the military for other reasons. That's it. I get it. I get it. But don't cry. Why you sending me to? You signed up for this. And so you can play this whole "this is a war for Israel." I'm not buying that stupidity, right? I'm not buying it, and we'll play some stuff from Bongino in a minute. But don't let these people convince you that fight for the United States is useless or pointless. It's ridiculous. Don't let pessimism turn you into spectators while history moves forward. Because the moment citizens decide that nothing can be changed, that's the moment people give up on the system. That's when the system actually collapses, right? Because now it's doom and gloom, because people stopped believing it was worth defending. Mm, ridiculous, 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 and that that would be the most self-inflicted defeat imaginable. Cut the crap. Cut the crap. Now, I want to play a few videos here as we close up, wrap up here, and get things a moving. Um, because I'm just bored of this whole situation. And all the doom and gloom, and people on the internet sounding like psychopaths over a thing, micromanaging stupid things. And I'm just like, bro, nobody cares. You don't even care about what you're talking about. You just want to. Anyway, so let's start with. Hold on, we got to set up some stuff here. Let's start with Megyn Kelly. Is this the right video? Hold on.
Look, there are massive divisions over what we've done here, and people are going to change their minds over the coming days and weeks, one way or the other.
Are there massive divisions, or is it just a little subsect of y'all who are just loud and wrong? Okay, go ahead, Kelly.
But my own feeling is no one should have to die for a foreign country.
You know what? Let's just do it their way. Let's just do it their way. Let's just sit here and wait for people to start killing us. Let's just wait for that, because that's the smart strategy. Also, I don't have intel. Megyn Kelly doesn't have intel. Ben Shapiro doesn't have intel. None of these people really know. Marco Rubio has gotten up there and been as transparent as he can be. And it's still not enough for you people. President Trump has been as transparent as he can be, and it's still not enough for you people. Once you sign the paperwork, you are the property of the government. So if your government says we're going to this operation and you are going with us, that's it. Now you have a few options if you want to get out of it, and go right ahead and make those options. But I also think a consequence should be you have to pay back every dime that was invested in you by the taxpayers. Every damn dime. Send these mofos a bill. You don't get to sit up here and take advantage of being in the military, of the privileges you get for being in the military, and then when it's time to actually be the military, you want to bitch and moan? No, that's not how that works. You signed the paperwork. Nobody forced you to sign the paperwork.
I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel.
She only threw Iran in there to sort of soften the blow for the right, because she couldn't just say Israel, because that's what this is just my opinion. In my opinion, she just wanted to say Israel. And in fact, I even believe that on her teleprompter, it just said Israel. These are all my assumptions. If Candace Owens can ask questions, why can't AJ? Ah, if Candy can ask questions, why can't AJ? But I'm gonna go on the off chance to say that in her teleprompter it said Israel, and she added Iran in there as it was coming up, as it was scrolling up the teleprompter. That's how that works.
I think I understand how this helps Iran perfectly well. I get it. I mean, I hope. Long term, we'll see. But they seem rather jubilant. 80% of the country does not support the Ayatollah. He was a terrible, terrible man. No one's crying that he's dead. No normal person. But our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. And this feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war.
This feels so when she got the intel from the president, because feeling sounds very much like intel, doesn't it? I have a lot of feelings too, but I'm not going to present these feelings as facts, right? Because they're my feelings towards something, right? But when you say it emphatically and when you say it like it's the holy grail, yeah, it's convincing to the people who listen to you, right? And when you're not making a distinction between, because some people are just dense, let's just call it a spade a spade. Some people are just dense and then they're just sitting there with bated breath waiting for you to talk, and so they're going to, everything you say, they're going to regurgitate as facts. This feels like it. See, the difference between me and and I like Megan Kelly. I followed her for a long time, but I listen to comprehend. I don't listen to feel. I don't listen to react. I sit. And it's very intentional. I'm literally saying to myself, AJ, listen to understand. Right? Listen to comprehend. Don't listen to react to her. Right? I've already listened to this clip, and so now I'm sitting here like, okay, okay. And now you said feel. So your feelings should have been cleared. You should have made this clear. This is your opinion, because I feel can slip under the radar and people think you're speaking from facts. And so I'm pretty sure they're in your, this is not her. Wasn't posted from her account, but I'm pretty sure folks are like, yeah, that's when we're making Kelly know the truth.
Mark Levin wanted it.
Hmm.
It's his war. Ben
Oh,
Shapiro, Lindsey
oh,
Graham, Miriam
oh,
Madelson.
oh, oh. You know what's so funny? This is very passive because when you say uh Adelson, she gave a lot of money to Trump, but it's sort of saying that she controls Trump. Now, what influence could Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro have on Donald Trump? What? What? What could, are they in the national security meetings? Are they in the war room? Is there something that I missed here? Because the last time that I checked, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin are private citizens just like you and I. The weirdness of the weirdness of the weirdness of the weirdness. What are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? And then you talk about the Adelson chick because she gave a lot of money. We all know Trump, whether you donated to him or not, Trump gonna tell you what it is. Trump gonna tell you what it is. I mean, look, I mean, what was it? Elon Musk. Look at that. Elon Musk is one of the instrumental reasons for one of the pushes that got Trump over the finish line in 2024. Not just financially, but raising his social profile in other circles from a person who otherwise was on the left. One of the world's richest men. And he told him to kick rocks. Did he not? He said, "Okay, cool." We did the Doge thing, and then Elon had a whole tantrum because his electric renewal subsidies or whatever wasn't in the New Deal, in the one big beautiful bill, and he had a tantrum about that, and they had a falling out, and now they cool again. And Elon was way more. He was way more involved. financially and socially than Adelson. So this whole idea that Trump can be controlled is stupid. It's dumb.
That's obvious.
And I'll prove to you that Trump has been consistent uh, since he was 34 years old on Iran. He's been consistent since he was 34 years old on Iran. The man is now 79 years old. So you mean to tell me this man has been consistent for 45 years and now suddenly he's being controlled by Jews? But we'll get there later.
They're the ones who've been pushing us into.
Okay, whatever. All right. So
Look, there are massive divisions.
This is not in particular order. I think Ben Shapiro. Let's do Ben Shapiro's reaction. I don't know.
It is nonsense while simultaneously trying to avoid saying President Trump's name like he's voting. They are utter and complete cucks. The horseshoe right is busy spreading defeatist nonsense while simultaneously trying to avoid saying President Trump's name like he's Voldemort. Megyn Kelly has also jumped on this bandwagon, apparently for the clicks and giggles of it.
This feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war. Mark Levin wanted it. It's his war. Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson. That's obvious.
What the actual F are you talking about? You know whose war this is? President Donald J. Trump's war.
Boom. It is President Trump's operation. That's it. You think these civilians have intel? Like, what is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? These civilians who can operate in the world however they want with all of this access and no contracts. Oh, God.
He's the president of the United States. He commands the United States military. She is such a coward. She is such an unbelievable coward. You don't like President Trump? You don't like what he's saying? Just say his name, you coward. You won't.
Nope.
You won't.
No.
They are
absolutely won't say his name because the gravy train, man. We ain't gonna mess up the gravy train. That's Ben Shapiro. Wait, is this the same video? I think
on it, or Lindsey Graham or Miriam.
Yeah, that's the same video. So let's go to Dan Bongino. Wait, what is this one? No, that's about Candace Owens. No, we're going to watch that video in a moment. There was another Bongino video. Oh, this one, baby. Play it, baby. Play it.
Freaking unbelievable. I'm going to play in a second this video I played when I first came back on leadership. Someone sent it to me because President Trump and his team cannot listen to me, folks. And I'm sorry, I really, really am not attempting in any way to patronize anyone. I'm not. I'm just stating a fairly obvious fact.
Oh, I'm trying to patronize. I like when people up front about what their intentions are. But go ahead, Dan.
President Trump and his team are privy to a data set of intelligence that we are not. I'm not anymore. But having lived through it for a year, he can't tell you everything.
Yeah, that's like Tyler, the people putting together Tyler Robinson's case in Utah, saying, hey, Candace Owens, we're going to do this in the trial. It's kind of like every time Candace Owens is like, well, why aren't they telling us anything? Why aren't they telling us anything? Because they're putting together a rock solid case. I mean, any idiot who watched like the first 48 or 48 hours knows that, Yeah, they're very hushed because they don't want to tip off people that they might be looking into and stuff. You think they stopped at Tyler Robinson? No, they looked at every single person around that boy. Right. And any other communications he may have had on social media, they looked at everything. You think they're just sitting here looking at Tyler Robinson? No, they're looking at a lot of stuff. But no. No. Oh, God, y'all are annoying. Go ahead, Dan.
I thought that was obvious.
It clearly wasn't, bro.
Apparently isn't. Some people out there in the media space think they're better informed than the president.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen the live streams. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, how would we know more than him? Us on our little platforms, on our TikToks and Instagram streets, how would we know more than him? How would we know? How? It's impossible. The only way you know what the president briefing looks like every day is if you were the president. Mhm. Barack Obama knows what that looks like. Bill Clinton knows what that looks like. Joe Biden may know what that looks like. George Bush knows what that looks like. Yeah, those people know what that looks like because they've been president. Mhm. Mhm. Regardless of what you think of them, they've actually had the title, the role, and the access. None of us have. And none of us, for the most part, the folks that I see on social media who are pulling up these wayward videos that don't even matter, have not. You've not served at those high levels in government where you had that type of access. But I'm just AJ over here.
Great, great. I'm glad you think that. You're just factually wrong. I'm going to get to that in a second because it's, folks, that I've just experienced it myself. I'm extra sympathetic to what he's going through because there are things we had to do we just couldn't explain.
Mhm.
And you get Twitter people out there. Oh, I know what's going.
All the time. All the time. I know your job better than you do.
You don't know shit, man. You don't know a damn thing.
Facts. Facts.
You imagine the decisions the president has to make. You'd be crapping in your diaper, man. Your mom.
Bro, I don't envy Trump. Hell no, I don't envy Trump. I couldn't do Trump's job. I couldn't do the job of the president because no matter what you do, you're going to piss off about half the people. In a nation of 330 million people, at any given decision you make, you're going to piss off at least half of them. I don't want to be in that position. I'm good. I'm good. I'll keep the 10 people who hate me. I'm good with that.
You'd have to get the wipies out, clean you up, you slob.
Facts.
You don't even have the balls. I didn't see half these people stepping up or volunteering for anything. You feel so passionately about the issue? Why not go in the administration? Take an assistant secretary of defense position, assistant secretary or something over at DHS. You got the access. You guys talk about it all the time. Why don't you do it?
Facts.
It's exhausting. Listen to the doomers. I'm done with it. I told you. I don't want you here. I'm not interested. You guys can go. There are 1,000 shows out there on the left and a pocket on the right where all it is doom and gloom.
That part. Oh, it is bad. I'm voting Democrat. So wait, your solution to not getting what you want in 14 months is to vote Democrat? Yeah. Why do you have a platform again? And this is what I talk about. This is what I talk about: the grift, the waving. No, you have, if you say you are this, you have to be this. And even when you disagree with your own side, you are still this, right? People don't understand that, right? You can be on the same side with someone and vehemently disagree with them, right? But that doesn't mean I've abandoned. That doesn't mean I've defected. That doesn't mean I'm now going to go support the thing that I don't agree with. That's the stupidest crap I've ever heard in my life.
This ain't that show.
Facts.
All right, I'm going to get to that video. I want you to watch it. It's short, but you need to see it.
Did we get to see it here?
If you're going to go and take a leadership position in an organization or anyone else, what do they say? Die a hero or live long enough to be the villain, right? That's what happens because there are always people out there who want to chop you down. And you're going to have to make level 10 decisions. And level 10 decisions always piss someone off.
Boom, literally. Listen, in my own little bubble, I've experienced this. When I owned when I had my company, I would piss people off with my decisions. Why? Because I knew, at least at the time, that was the best decision to make. I didn't care if you didn't like it. I had to make a decision. That was it. Oh, he said, okay, yeah, I made that decision. What's your point? You gonna cry about it, or you gonna man the fuck up and get it done?
Because there's a shit call and a shittier call. And either way, someone's going to want your head.
Facts. 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 That's leadership 101. You have to make difficult decisions. Period. You have to make the unpopular decision. Period. You have to be the one after 5 presidents to go say, well, let's just go get these mofos. And now, as we wrap up in these streets, um, I talked about 45 years of consistency from President Trump. Okay, so I'm gonna play this video that proves that Trump, since he was a 34-year-old young man, has been the same. So you imagine being this consistent for 45 years? I can't even be this consistent for 12 minutes. Oh wait, there's a Brandon Tatum video. What did he say?
People are going to change their. Look, there are massive divisions over what we've done here, and
No, it's not.
people are going to change their minds over the coming days and weeks, one way or the other. But my own feeling is no one should have to die for a foreign country. I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel.
Jesus.
I think I understand how this helps Iran perfectly well. I get it. I mean, I hope.
What?
Long term, we'll see. But they seem rather jubilant. 80% of the country does not support the Ayatollah. He was a terrible, terrible man. No one's crying that he's dead. No normal person. But our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. And this feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war. Mark Levin wanted it. It's his war. Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson. That's obvious.
There she go.
Get him, Tatum.
Anti-Semite. That's what it is. When these
Well, I don't know if it's anti-Semitic, but because we throw that word around like confetti too, the anti-Semitic thing. And then there is some truth to both sides on this, but this blind defense of Israel, I don't play that game, and I just said that. But I don't think what she said was anti-Semitic as much. Also, we're not even going to get into that conversation, because are these the Semites or the Ashkenazi? Okay, you know what? We just go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon.
people get crazy with Jews, they mind go. What make you think this is crazy to me? What make you think that's a Miriam Adelson's war?
Just what I said, right?
What do you? She live in America.
Yep.
She makes all of her money, as far as I know, in America.
That part.
And she spent her money and invested into Donald Trump, an American president.
Facts.
And people say that Trump is run by Miriam Adelson. Well, if Miriam Adelson is running Donald Trump, then Elon Musk is running Donald Trump.
Literally what I just said.
He gave way more money than she did.
Facts.
What are you talking about?
Facts.
Elon Musk had a job at the White House.
He did.
With Doge.
He did.
If anybody got access because of money, it's Elon.
That is true.
But Trump told him to kick rocks when he didn't do what he's supposed to do. And then they ain't friends again. So
yeah, Stephen A., we don't care. All right, so in closing, we're going to talk about a man that has been consistent, and you all talking about he's controlled by Iran. And was he controlled by Iran when he was 34?
Respect of other countries.
Is
Today,
respect the most important thing in your opinion?
well, respect can lead to other things. When you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do, and you can create the right attitudes. The Iranian situation is a case in point. That they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold our hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'd do it with other countries. I honestly don't think they'd do it with other countries.
Obviously, you're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, and there's no question in my mind. I think right now would be an oil-rich nation, and I believe that we should have done it, and I'm very disappointed that we didn't do it. And I don't think anybody would have held us in abeyance. I don't think anybody would have been angry with us, and we had every right to do it at the time.
Facts.
I think we've lost the opportunity.
Fact.
Donald, would you have wanted to be one of those men to have gone to Iran, and have taken those fellows out?
No, I wouldn't have wanted to be, but I would have done it.
Would you?
Absolutely. If I were the age, if I were in the military.
There were a lot of those fellows who went for that aborted coup who were 34 years old and older. They were your age.
That's right.
If you were called upon, would you? I know it's easy to say, yes, of course I would go. But if the phone rang right now and someone from the Selective Service had said, Donald, we're taking every young man 34 years of age, we're sending him to war, would you go to war?
No, I don't see a war. You see, the war this is not a Vietnam situation, fortunately. The war, in fact, with Iraq.
There is a war waging there right now.
Oh, yes, there is a war, and it's a war where nobody has any tanks, has any guns. It's a war where everyone's standing around. That would have been the easiest victory we would have ever won, in my opinion.
When I look at television, I see men being shot up, legs being blown off.
You're talking about two non-existent armies. I mean, Iran has an army composed of American equipment without parts and without anything else, and Iraq has...
Oh, geez, what's changed about that?
A very weak army, and they're just really fighting each other. I mean, it's almost hand-to-hand combat. If you see now, they've run out. It's a sad situation, Rona, but it's a situation which ultimately is going to get much worse. That little sparkle of war, that little sparkle is going to lead, in my opinion, to a much, much greater conflict, and I think that's very unfortunate. And I think a lot of it has to do with this country and the fact that this country is not more involved in terms of setting policy in that area.
Do you think perhaps that the oil industry is responsible for this, as the late Shah once implied?
Well, I wouldn't want to criticize the oil industry because I wouldn't know enough about it, but I can tell you that I think this country is responsible for that war by its own weaknesses. I don't think you'd have this war if they, again using the other word, if we were respected, properly respected as a country and as a people and as a nation. I don't think that you would have the war going on right now between Iran and Iraq. I don't think that Iran would have our hostages for 10 minutes. If they respected this country, I don't believe they would have our hostages for 10 minutes.
So you were saying? You were saying. So was he controlled by Israel and whoever Jewish person was in power in what was this, 45? He was what, 34? So that was 45 years. Was that 81 or something? So you're telling me in the early 80s, Donald Trump was controlled by the Jews? If you people don't leave me alone, leave me alone. I'm done. I'm tired of these frivolous conversations about nothing. Donald Trump is controlled by no one. If that's the case, why didn't he just take a bunch of lobbyist money and just continue on his business as usual? Why even try, you know? But again, you people want to be defeated because you didn't get what you wanted in 5 minutes, and nobody's fulfilling your quest or curing your daddy issues. So therefore they have to be replaced. You people sound crazy. You sound ridiculous. You sound foolish. But go ahead. See how it all works out for you. Go ahead and make that other decision. And when you're transing your kids in 10 years, I don't want to hear anything. When you can't say anything about it. Right. Because voting for the very thing that you don't mess with because you're not getting what you want at the table you're sitting at, you sound stupid. You sound stupid. Politics is a game of patience and strategy. So thinking you can just be frivolous with something because you didn't get what you wanted 20 minutes after you turned on your phone or your laptop and said, "I'm a conservative. I'm walking away." Shut up. You sound anyway. That's our show for today. I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you so much. If you'd like to support the channel. Oh, wait. I didn't do something very important here. Hold on. We got announcements in these streets. Where are we? Not that one. Give me the other one. The other one. This one. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Send that here. Send that to my MacBook. All right. Bet. All right. Send to the MacBook. Disregard this for a moment. Disregard this. So, a dope announcement for those who care about the Trifecta Hour. The Trifecta Hour will be back. We have an official start date. Well, and then we're also going to be doing things way different with the Trifecta Hour. So we're not going to be once a week. We're going to be once a month. And it's playing smarter, not harder. And we're going to, the last Tuesday of every month will be the trifecta hour. And so our first Tuesday back will be Tuesday, March 31st, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, yeah. And basically, instead of, the week to week grind, because we want to play smarter, not harder. We want to make this a more symbiotic relationship between the audience and us. And and then also, emphatically, we are in different places in our lives right now, where we can't make the same commitment that we made before. I'm in this full time, when I wasn't before. And Dr. Blue is now, professor, and full time in that, and inked is all over the planet. So we finally found something that we think is gonna work, and get the trifecta back in the groove. Feel the groove. So yeah, once again, that's Tuesday, March 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Thank you all for supporting the channel. If you would like to support the channel, you can head on over to AJsRANTroom.com. That's AJsRANTroom.com. Or if you don't want to buy merch, you can help support getting me to AmFest this year. You can go to my Give, Send, Go. I would love to be a vendor. I would love to sell merch and do debates and record content and all of that fun stuff. But the problem with that is it's not cheap to do all of that. So if you would like to support me getting to AmFest and being a vendor, you can go to givesendgo.com/AJ's Rant Room, or scan that beautiful red QR code right there on your screen. And if you don't want to do that, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/AJ's Rant Room, or scan this beautiful QR code and buy me a coffee, or in this case, a tea. If you just like to drop an offering in the virtual collection plate or some Chick-fil-A money, you can feel free to do that here at my Cash App. You can scan that QR code or go to AJ's Rant on Cash App. And if you do go to Cash App, you must see that beautiful logo up there at the top. If you don't see that beautiful logo, then you are at the wrong place. Anyway, support my socials, cross platform. So wherever you're watching from, do the opposite. So I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on TikTok. Those are the 4 main ones, all at AJ's Rant Room. And I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you kindly. And I will catch you all on Friday. Peace.